Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks with Ben and Josh, streaming on the Kirk Minahan Show Network, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and of course, Rumble. Timeout Talks is brought to you by Chase and Phil's custom t-shirts and accessories, the Ice Shaker, Make It Mac, and of course, we are proudly a part of the Kirk Minahan Show Network. As you guys can see, doing this solo tonight, riding solo dolo. We've got a lot on the docket tonight in a speed show. We'll be getting off at 7:30. Probably going to be doing 7 to 7:30 for the summertime. Sports kind of wind down, but we've got a lot. We've got the Euro Cup to talk about. We've got new Stanley Cup champions, which I'll give you my thoughts on that. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Boston Celtics tonight, preview a little bit into 2024-2025 season. Of course, we'll get you Team USA beating Bolivia in that Copa America Cup. Get a little baseball stuff. And of course, to wrap up the show, I'm going to give you, it's weird saying we, but I am going to give you my UFC 303 predictions for this weekend. Obviously, Conor McGregor not on that card, but pretty decent card. Nonetheless, a couple little interesting comments here from Patrick. What are your thoughts on Dr. Disrespect? I'm not so much into the Twitch, universe and the gaming universe. I do know he's huge. I know his whole gimmick, and I know he'll tell you how it is. All I know is that he's basically going at Twitch right now. A lot of censorship on Twitch, and I know a lot of streamers have had issues on Twitch, So I know it's something to do with that. I don't even know if he's on Twitch anymore. If you can give me a little bit more of a rundown on that, Patrick. But I like him. I've seen a couple of his shticks. I know he's been at like NBA games dressed up in his persona, but I'm not a big fan. And yeah, Big Slob. I mean, he must have did something because Big Slob doesn't like it more like Dr. Disgusting. But of course, let's start things off first talking about the Stanley Cup, the new Stanley Cup champions. Barkov, Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart. I mean, the list goes on and on for these Florida Panthers. Unbelievable from top to bottom. I mean, this was the team. Once the Bruins went out, I was like, you know what? Just let them win it all. They've kind of gone all in. Obviously they ran into a pretty good foe here in the Edmonton Oilers. Again, Canada still searching and clawing for that first Stanley Cup, or not first, but first Stanley Cup in what feels like 30 years. The Canadians trying to be the last team to do it, but lost in a gentleman's during the COVID. Couldn't get it done. Oilers couldn't get it done. Down 3-0, leaning on the best hockey player in the world. Some may say the best of all time. I'm not ready to do that yet, and that's kind of my opening little take here on Timeout Talks. Great showing. I mean, he won MVP. Just looking at the stats here, led the entire postseason in points, 42 points. Kind of a top-heavy team. I know they have Hyman. I know that they also have Draisaitl, and Bouchard had a pretty good postseason. This is a team I don't know too much about, but I do know that they have the best player in the world playing for them, but not the best player of all time. And that's my first take on here. You look at Wayne Gretzky and what he's been able to do. I'm just not ready to say that Connor McDavid is the best of all time. I know we've grown up seeing a lot of players like Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby. The list goes on and on. Datsuk, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's actually going to be in the Hall of Fame soon. Again, I'm not ready to say that Connor McDavid is the best player of all time. He's kind of like the LeBron. You know, we've grown up watching him play, clawing his way back from down 3-0. But again, he needs that ring. And once he wins that ring, I'll bow down. I'll think more about it. And I know everybody's going to come in the comments, and a couple of my friends are going to jaw at me and say, oh, well, Connor McDavid, he's going to have the most stats of all time. Again, at some point, the hardware matters, and it's going to count. Again, I'm not slighting him. Great comeback. They were down 3-0. I will give them the tip of the cap for that. I know he missed a pretty controversial goal last night. I'm not going to hang that over his head. It's not on him. It's a one-man show over there. I know they're talking about maybe moving on from Draisaitl. That would be a disaster. I think, again, this Edmonton Oilers team was in a little bit over their head. They went a little further than they thought. Kind of reminds me of that Arizona Diamondbacks team in the World Series last year. Just couldn't get it done. It is what it is. This Florida Panthers team has been building and building. They went all in. They got Verhaeghe, who scored one of those goals last night. Upcoming free agent, could be in Boston land, could be in the Beantown. Sam Reinhart scored last night. I mean, they are just loaded. From top to bottom, this team has it all. And I know people have gotten upset with my comparisons, but they remind me so much of the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know, they lost it last year. This is a team that was they were ready. It was their time to hoist the championship. And some may even say, hey, they got it out of their way. Maybe they'll have a little bit of that Stanley Cup hangover next year. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think that they're going to be okay. And a little part of me kind of leans towards the fact that Sam Reinhart might go back. I'm not too sure about their salary cap and how that's all going to work out. But again, you're Stanley Cup champions. I think that they deserved it. I think even before the whole playoff started, and I know the Dallas Stars were great. I know that the Colorado Avalanche were kind of the favorites going into this. They were my team to win. Once they took the Bruins out, and again, I'm not saying that the Boston Bruins were the be-all, end-all, but I watched this Florida Panthers team grow over the years. They lost last year. They know what it takes to get there, and they finally got it done, wrapping up what is a great historic championship run from them. It's never been done in the history of hockey. It's very hard in the history of sports to do the reverse squeegee, as my buddy Zachary Alves would say. It's just very unlikely to win 4 games in a row. Huge shout out to Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. They've got potential. As long as he's playing for them, they'll make good runs. Pretty sure they've been in the playoffs most of the seasons that he's been there, but just not their time. And it stinks if you're a Bruins fan, because I know you don't want to see Tkachuk and Barzal and Barkov, and Verhaeghe, and you don't want to see Forsling. You don't want to see these guys host the Stanley Cup, but it is what it is. They're the best team in the world, and congratulations to the Florida Panthers. I'm okay with it. I let them get it out of the way. I kind of wanted this to happen with the San Francisco 49ers last year as a Cowboys fan. I kind of wanted them to just get it out of the way, let the money kind of eat up at their cap. But yeah, we've got a couple comments here. Shout out Muttstack. Of course, shout out Muttstack. My guy Mutt, that Muttstack's going to be dropping this Friday, so you want to stay tuned. And Tom, fellow streamer, myself, all day, Tom. Thank you for joining. Big 303 predictions, Tom, if you want to stay tuned a little bit later in the show. Around 7:30, I'm going to be dropping those. A little before 7:30. Show ends at 7:30, excuse me. 7:25, 7:22-ish. Around there, I'll be previewing this card, which could have been stacked. I think it's actually a pretty good card. I know a lot of people are kind of poo-pooing on Yuri and Pereira, number 2. We'll get to that a little bit later, but yeah, I'm not a huge Dr. Disrespect guy. I like this. My uncle loves him. I don't know too much about it. Tommy here. This is Timeout Talks. This is a sports show. I'd love to talk movies. All I know, Inside Out killing it. I know Kirk Minahan and the guys always talking about that on the show. Inside Out 2 has been doing great. Probably one of the best movies right now. But yeah, Luke McKay, thank you for joining us. Just getting off and running here. No Ben today. Quick speed show. We've already talked about the Stanley Cup champions. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was your Boston Celtics. We know that they had the parade. We know that they have Banner 18. They are world champions. And again, I want to bask in this. I want to enjoy this. But of course, the season rolls on. The NBA draft coming up tomorrow. A lot of eyes on that. I know the Celtics have been kind of tuned in and touched in and dialed in, I should say, with a big man. We'll see what happens if they can get Zach Edey. I don't know too much about this NBA draft. I know the first guy is unbelievable. The second kind of falls off after that. So again, I'm not resting my whole laurels on this NBA draft and the fact that we literally just won the championship, but previewing into next season, 2 biggest things that the Boston Celtics need to do. 1, re-sign Derek White. Get him back however you can get him. I don't know the salary, but I do know within the NBA, the luxury taxes and the salary caps themselves, it's easier to re-sign guys when they're on your team than to let them hit free agency and then try to re-sign them. That's a disaster. So give Tatum that extension. Give him that super mega max, whatever he wants. He's hoisted the championship. He's young, under 30. We know he can do it. I doubted the guy. I've seen the guy's success. Bring him back. You've got Drew Holiday. You can bring back Derek White. He's probably, I would say, in my laundry list of guys to bring back, it's Jason Tatum, Derek White. Other than that, you have everybody back. I laughed. We all laughed about Jaylen Brown being the highest paid player in the NBA. I mean, he stepped up. The lefty dribbles ended up working out. We won the championship. Just bring it all back. You see the banner 18 in the top right corner? Let's try and get banner 19. I'm going to enjoy this. I didn't go to the parade. I saw a lot of people. I know some people, some folks, my brothers went to the parade, some family members. They enjoyed it. I'm going to bask in it. But again, previewing this next season, and even Ben and I kind of touched on this a little bit last week. Got to bring back Derek White. Got to bring back Jason Tatum. And I think you're sitting in the driver's seat for another fun playoffs run next year. The New York Knicks, shout out Coleman's team, they're a disaster. I mean, Julius Randle's going to get hurt at some point. And it's just a 2-man show over there. Bogdanovich, I mean, injuries plagued them last year. I know everybody was kind of running around, me, myself included, saying, hey, if the Knicks somehow match up with the Boston Celtics either in the first or the second round, prior to all these injuries, I thought, oh boy, you don't want that luck of the draw there. Didn't end up happening. Again, another team that I'm not that scared of. One of the teams in the East that I am afraid of is the Miami Heat. And I know a lot of people are going to get on me because I said, oh, they're not the team. We lost to them 2 years ago. This whole year, I kind of just poo-pooed them to the side. They didn't have Jimmy Butler. Even if they had Jimmy Butler, I still felt that they would win. But they're always making noise. Pat Riley's hot. He's angry. He's ready to make some more moves. And just looking at this Miami Heat team, I know they've talked about acquiring another guy. If they can bring in another guy alongside Jimmy Butler, I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's Kevin Durant. I don't know what they're going to do. But they're talking about making another move, whether they move on from Tyler Hero, add a couple more role players. That's a team to watch out for in this offseason. Same with the 76ers as well. We're off and running. We've got a lot of people in here. James, yeah, you're here, man, running this show by myself. Hey, thank you, Will. Josh, sports talk is better than pretty much. Oh, well, I mean, hey, let's not slander Barstool. I appreciate the compliments here, but I like it. I appreciate it. Got James. Okay, interesting little one here. I completely rolled over this when I was talking about the Boston Celtics banner 18. One Bruins take, trade for Draisaitl. For some reason, I thought he could have been a free agent this year. I could be wrong on that. But speaking of the Bruins, talking about the Florida Panthers, they won it all. The Bruins just made a good trade. They got rid of Ullmark. I'm okay with it. I know a couple of my friends not happy with it at all. I would love this. I mean, we've seen Draisaitl kind of he's kind of the Robin. He's kind of the I don't want to say the Jaylen Brown because obviously Connor McDavid gets all the hype. I'm okay with this, James. I would be all for this. The Boston Bruins need to unload the clip spending-wise in free agency this year. It can't be a bridge year. They have the money now. You traded Ullmark. You got some of that money off the dish. I know we acquired some other guys with some cap tied down to them. But looking at the Boston Bruins this year, the one thing that they lacked was talent in depth. We know that they have their first and second line guys. But again, besides Pasternak and an aging Marchand, they don't have that much offensive firepower. They could get a Sam Reinhart or trade for a Draisaitl. I'm thrilled. It is an A-plus offseason for me in the Bruins. Running around all over the place. We're bouncing. We've got Steve here. Tom. Cool. Uncle Steve. Big truth. Shout out to Jaylen Brown improving every year. He's been great. I've been critical of him as well. Hair is fire. Thank you. Shout out to Mo Barber. Shout out to Mo in Waltham. He does this thing on Lexington Street. So if you guys ever need a haircut, quick plug to Mo. Could talk some Red Sox in a little bit. But yeah, he's saying they're going to deal Jimmy. I mean, they're going to do something. We know back to the Miami Heat, back to the NBA stuff. We know that the Miami Heat, they're not just going to stand pat. They're going to either trade Jimmy Butler or bring in another asset for Jimmy Butler. I don't know what Pat Riley's got up his hands. He can pull some strings. I don't know their salary cap that well. I'm not in tune with Miami Heat, but just looking at the history, looking at a lot of the challenges and a lot of those people knocking on our door now, because, I mean, we are the champions now. We've got a list of people coming up to grab that title. Quick little WWE reference there. But I don't know. If Jimmy Butler leaves there, he's kind of the heart and soul there. James, I don't know if they're going to deal him. I think they're somehow going to try and deal to get him a sidekick. Because right now, besides Bam, I know they want to build around Bam. Jared loves Bam. Great Bam guy. I don't think Bam can cut it as the number two. Again, I'd have to see what would happen. But Bane for Jimmy with other pieces in it. Yeah, maybe. I just don't know. I feel like they need – I don't know. I feel like they need some type of firepower there in Miami. That's just my take there. And James, we can get you on in here. We're going for till 7:15, but I'll get you the invite. We'll get you in here. Could definitely use your help today. But yeah, we're off and running. We're talking a bunch of stuff. We're talking NBA. We're talking Florida Panthers winning the championship. We're talking Miami Heat, which Tommy coming in here. Butler won't win a title in Miami. Whew. That could be true. That's kind of where my point is with the Miami Heat. I've got to get James on here so I can argue with him a little bit about that Jimmy Butler thing. But I think Jimmy can win a championship with help. And I know that's like an open-ended statement, and that's kind of the easy way of saying it. But I think he is one of the core pieces to winning a championship in Miami. We know they've made their runs. They've been to 2 NBA Finals appearances. I know the COVID one, everybody's going to roll their eyes at me about. They've made 2 in the past 3 or 4 years. I think he is the heartbeat there, but he needs a little bit more help. The Duncan Robinsons, the Tyler Heroes, somebody he's a good scorer, but that's about it. They need something else. I don't know who that's going to be. Again, Pat Riley's going to cook something up. I have more faith in them than I do. I mean, the Bucks I was kind of all in on, but again, defensively, Damian Lillard, he's kind of a liability. He's aging as well. I still like that move. Maybe they make a couple other small pieces. They kind of need some more bench help. Maybe they can do that. But aside from that, I mean, the Miami Heat are always a team you're going to be worried about. And you know for a fact that Pat Riley's going to do his thing and bring in some more talent there. Yeah, interesting here. I'll make a quick little pivot here to soccer. I don't know. David, I don't know. And I was going to say the same thing for Netherlands. I mean, the Euro Cup has been amazing. I mean, right here, I'm a big Portugal guy. Huge. I think that they have a legit chance. Again, we won it in 2016. of course, I would love to see them win one more. Shout out for my Bavu would be very big thing, emotional thing for me. But this is the team to beat in the entire cup. It's Spain. They're on top. I mean, Austria, another good team as well. They shocked me. But USA doing their thing. Shout out to Italy getting that stunner. Quick little shout out there to Ben. But we've got James in here. We're going to get him in here.
Yo, what up, bro?
He's helping me out on the show.
Could you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound great.
All right, cool, man. I'm just on vacation. I was just watching your show, man. Just wanted to join a little.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Lot of stuff going on with the KMS basketball team too, man.
A lot. I mean, hey, talk about a week for us not to be there and announcing. A lot of stuff being leaked from our group chat. I'll leave it at that, James. But
yeah, I mean, it sucks we won't be there this week, but we'll be back for the playoffs, and I'm excited about that, man.
Oh, for sure. What's your so you think that they're going to trade Jimmy Butler?
I have a weird feeling they're going to deal him. I think he's going to be 35. He wants, 2-year extension or whatever it is. Memphis makes a lot of sense to me because they could package Bane and some other things, and you put him with Ja Morant and all those boys that maybe where am I? I am actually in I am in New Hampshire. I was at Santa's Village today.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we chilling in New Hampshire, man, North Conway.
I was just gonna say North Conway.
Yo, Mo did a nice job, bro.
Yeah, he did. Me and you. Shout out Mo and Wall fam. We both go to the same barber too. So the announcers hitting the same barber. I know some people get some jokes in there, but
I do want to ask you one more KMS related thing.
Yeah.
Will we see Mick again with this team?
Yes. Gun to my head, yes.
I agree. Will they mend the fences a little bit, or will this bring this team closer together in a weird way?
I could see that. Mend the fences. I think it might be like, I don't know. I mean, it would be great for the team. I mean, if they could just finally get over this. I know he was already pondering with leaving the team. Again, I don't want to speculate too much, but I think I agree with you. I think he's going to be back. He'll be in some role, James. I don't know what role, but some type of role with the team.
I think so. It's always something, but I think something in a weird way, something positive always comes out from this stuff.
David, Kirk needs to sit them both down. The fence will be mended. So James,
God.
So you staying off?
What time was the show? Are you getting off now?
I'm getting off at 7:30.
Oh, I got you. I can stick around for a few minutes, dude.
Yeah, why not? Let's kick it. We were talking a little bit of soccer. We're talking Celtics. I mean, James, how's the bronchitis?
Oh, dude, I'm
sounds better,
Adam. It's so, man. It's I took a Z-Pack. They gave me a Z-Pack, and it destroyed my stomach. But cough medicine with codeine is doing the trick. Dude, that was tough, man. I was trying not to die for.
I was literally laughing on the broadcast because this guy's face is red as a balloon. It was funny to me.
It was 110 degrees in there.
Couldn't get any hotter. Again, speed show today. No Ben. James helping out, joining last second. James, this is kind of our main event of the show before we wrap things up. You are the UFC guy. You and Ben are the UFC guys. Thoughts on give us your predictions for this weekend.
I mean, UFC's obviously, scrambled to put this card together. I think Pereira gets it done. I think he knocks him out. I like Yuri a lot. I'm a big fan of him. We saw him play last week in the KMS League, so he's balancing, different schedules, but or 2 weeks, whenever we saw him. But yeah, I think Pereira is just unbelievable, man. I think he gets it done. This Lopez and Ortega fight is sneaky good. I think Ortega's going to win. And he's in an interesting position too, because there's so many guys in front of him in that. He's talked about going up. I think, Anthony Smith, that's a good fight too. We'll see. It's a really good fight card, man.
Kaylee,
Who's Jimmy?
Thought that was funny. Tyler, of course, help yourself to a water. We'll be heading off to Myrtle Beach soon. And what about this one? This is a big fight. Undefeated versus my guy, Michael Venom Page, trying to make rumblings in the UFC. Thoughts on that?
I'm going to say Gary wins by decision, but I don't think it's going to be like a good fight.
I've got another comment here.
Yeah, that is a low-key banger, man. I do agree with that. That's going to be a good fight.
Again, James, I think if the little that I do know, and again, I can set you off any minute here. It sounds like you're tied up, but the little that I do know, I think, and you might have already given your prediction on this, but I think Pereira is going to win decision. I don't think he knocks him out. I have a lot of respect for Yuri. I know a couple people on Twitter. I was reading some threads. They were saying, if you looked at the last fight, there's a couple moments where Yuri kind of had Pereira backed up. I think Pereira is just, I know we talk about Islam being the best pound for pound. This guy's always sliding into a fight. I think he's going to win. He's going to hold that title down.
You think it goes 5 rounds?
I think it could.
Wow. I would if you think that, throw money on it. I bet the odds are pretty good for you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'll take it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll take Pereira by decision.
Also, when are you leaving? Tomorrow?
I am leaving tonight. Tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, 3 a.m.
Oh, my God. Wow.
3 a.m. That's why we're doing a speed show here.
I love it.
But
yeah, I mean, we don't need to get into it, but, thinking of Ben, he's, hopefully, get over this and he'll be fine.
He should be back. A couple of people asking, where's Ben? He'll be back. We can't do the show without him. So thank you, James, for joining. We're going to wrap up here shortly.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude. And, shout out Celtics, man. I know you talked about it, but awesome for the Celtics.
And last, we're not going to be on the show. Shout out Ted Sellers. And, of course, Cliff are going to be on the call. I don't know how I had that brain fart last week.
Yeah. And Dave's going to be roaming around, right?
He'll be doing sideline reporting, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they pinpoint him down. He's all knotted up in the Karen Reed stuff. Quick prediction. Do they get their first win with Kirk back?
Yes, they do. This looks like a team that would have a lot of funny nicknames, so I'm kind of pissed that we're not going to be there.
Damn it.
But Josh, before I let you go, Karen Reed, guilty or not guilty?
I don't know anything about this. What do you think? I mean, I would lean towards. Originally, I leaned towards not. Now I'm leaning towards she is.
I was reading that it's not a great sign that it's going into tomorrow, but I'm going to say not guilty. I feel like there's a lot of. I mean, just from what I read, I know like Dave and them have been going crazy over it, covering it, and Turtle Boy, but I'll say not guilty. I'll say KMS gets their win. I'm going to say this. Pat Ford hits the go-ahead 3, wins the game for them. That's my prediction.
Hey, they could use it. We know he's been a practice killer.
Ford tough, baby.
Ford tough, baby. Thank you, James, for joining.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Josh. I'll see you later, guys.
See you later. Alrighty, that's James. Quick coming in here to help this speed show. We're wrapping up. We've talked some Celtics. We've talked some UFC. Again, going back to that UFC card, I got my boy Michael Venom Page. I have to. I'm not throwing any money on it, but I like him. That's my guy. He's one of my favorite UFC fighters. Maybe in that top 3 for me. So I like to see him beat Ian Gary. Going to be a tall task to climb there. Wanted to get a little bit more into the soccer before James joined. Just craziness. Austria coming out of that group. I have the team. Where is it here? I have the prediction. The round of 16 matchups, which, absolute gauntlet here. I wanted to get to these before because the next time we'll be on here, we won't have enough time. I know Ben had thought, he said, Italy. They found a way. I know Ben's not here, but they found a way to get in there. Got a couple interesting matchups here. Italy, Switzerland will be a great one. England, still waiting on that deciding game from Group D. It's either E or F. Austria finally getting a spot. Spain at the top. Germany and, of course, Denmark. That'll be great. Just plenty of good matchups. Portugal, France, Germany, and Spain all on the same side. Going to be a loaded side. I know Zach, another fellow Portuguese, saying he thinks Portugal might have a chance. I think so too. I hope so. I believe in Ronaldo. I wish I could. This is a fun vacation I'm going to be going on. Rust Cole, I appreciate the support. I'll be at the game. Hey, James and I will be back. It'll be a fresh little bye week for James and I. We'll be back for the playoffs to talk some KMS with you guys. Hopefully they get their first win. And of course, we're going to be tuning in for that. I will be in the comments, so check me out in the comments. I'll be watching the game with you guys on Thursday. But before I go, ending thoughts here, just got to get these out here. Shout out to the Florida Panthers. They did what they had to do. Best team in the National Hockey League. I told Ben, hey, Oilers took them 7. I didn't think it was going to get 7. I thought it was going to be 5. I was almost right. They were up 3, lost 3 in a row, but ended up winning it. Connor McDavid, again, not the best player of all time, the best player in the world. Maybe he'll get there someday with his stats, and if he can get that hardware, then it's a conversation for me. I'm not a Connor McDavid fan. Just want to hater. Not a Connor McDavid hater. Just want to throw that one out there. Portugal, let's see what they can do. Italy, too. If they can move on into these later rounds, I expect nothing but a finals appearance for Portugal. I know that they're on that group of death side with Spain and Germany, two of arguably the best in the tournament. We'll see how Portugal can handle that draw. In Copa America, shout out Captain America, doing his thing. Christian Pulisic, beating Bolivia. That's my guy. Again, if you're not following Team USA, this is the time to get into them. They're pretty good right now. I think they have a good chance of making it far in there. Just got to watch out for teams like Brazil. Chile's pretty decent. Costa Rica, sneaky team to watch out for as well. They tied with Brazil. Uruguay, they're in that same group. And, of course, Argentina, the defending champions. But before I go, I'm going to leave it with this. I'm going to leave you with 2 things here. UFC 303. MVP is going to get his win. Alex Pereira is going to get his win. I'm going to leave it for this, for the people who care. Brian Ortega will get the knockout.